Hello friend, welcome back to my kitchen. My name is Becky if you're new, and this is my sister Sarah.
Hello from Oklahoma.
And in 2 days, we are having a huge gingerbread decorating extravaganza. So today, my sister and I are gonna be making at least 12 gingerbread houses from scratch. So last night, what I did is I printed off this recipe, which I will link to you down below. I made this last year and it did fantastic. And we are gonna make at least 3 times a double batch. So my sister went through and doubled the recipe on here, and we're gonna make 3 double batches worth, maybe 4. We're also, because we're not gonna be eating the gingerbread houses, we're gonna be decorating them. We are gonna make some chewy double ginger molasses cookies that have actual fresh ginger in them so that we can have a delicious cookie to snack on while we decorate the houses. I also last night went ahead and printed off 3 templates worth of the 5-inch house. So the recipe that we're following, you can either use a 5-inch house template or a 7-inch house template. And because most of these people decorating these houses are gonna be little kids, we figured we're gonna do the little houses.
It'll be like the size of a graham cracker Pop-Tart house, and I think that will be like the tiny little milk carton size is perfect for the little kids to decorate.
And we're gonna make enough so that myself, my sister, Josh, and my parents can decorate houses as well. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. I also cut out a template out of cardboard in case, you know, these papers don't hold up very well. Got a bunch of butter that's at room temperature, eggs, molasses, some of the spices we need, and we're just gonna get going because we've got a lot of work ahead of ourselves. So it's early in the morning.
It is.
We have not had a full cup of coffee yet, so we will have coffee on hand as needed. And Sarah, do you want to, what if I measure out the dry ingredients and you start mixing in the mixer, the butter, the brown sugar, the eggs, and we can kind of be working.
We're gonna do at least 3 separate batches in this.
Yes.
Make it through,
We pulled out the big guns, the Bosch, so I should be able to do a double batch in here. And
but a double batch is 10 cups of flour. So
plus all the sugar and butter.
So there's substantial batches here.
Yes, so I will get out a bowl and I will just start measuring out the dry ingredients if you want to start.
I'll work on the butter, the sugar, and the eggs process. Yep, I can do that.
I can just get these over here. And I have these butters out overnight and they still are pretty firm. So I might pop them in the microwave for 10 seconds. We don't want them too soft because if they're too soft, then they're gonna take longer to chill. Yeah. And our goal today is to make all the dough, roll all the dough out, bake all the dough. And my sister has to leave by 12. So we're gonna see if we can get all that done by 12.
Yeah, give them like 10 seconds, I think.
Okay. This was butter that I got on sale for $2.39 a pound. And I figured this would be the perfect time to use this sale butter making gingerbread houses that we're not actually gonna eat. Okay, yeah, this feels, you can tell me if that feels better. That was 10 seconds with 5.
Yeah, I think,
Okay.
Yep, that will work. So I need 2 cups of brown sugar.
And there's spray in here if you want to spray that before you do the molasses.
All right, I'm gonna add brown sugar, eggs, and butter and cream it for 2 minutes, if not a little bit longer, because we have so much in here.
I have 2 bowls here, so I'm gonna just go ahead and measure out 2 bowls worth of the dry ingredients at the same time.
All right, in go 4 sticks of butter. Now, I've never used a Bosch mixer before, so I'm excited for this because my friend was just telling me is getting one under the Christmas tree from her children so she can make multiple loaves of bread at one time.
She will love it. For my Bosch mixer, I only have the whisk attachment and the dough attachment. I do need to invest in the paddle attachment for cookies. So I figured we're gonna use the whisk attachment for this as opposed to the dough attachment. And we'll call it good.
We'll scrape the whisk extra,
So I went ahead because we're gonna be using probably 30 cups of flour today. I pulled out my 5-gallon bucket of flour. We're probably gonna use actually 50 cups of flour today. So a lot.
And a lot of molasses. So double batch is 2 cups of molasses. And I did Becky's trick of spraying the liquid cup so that it comes out easier. Can I run this without the lid on?
Yes. So this is 10 cups, so this is a double batch in here. In this bowl, I'm gonna do the same thing.
Oh yeah, I could set out our butter for the next round and our molasses.
I bought the smaller molasses. I hadn't bought molasses since 2019 because I bought a gallon in 2019. And then when I had to buy molasses this last time, I bought this smaller thing. And now I'm wishing I had bought the 1 gallon.
In hindsight, I think we need to cream the butter first.
Oh yeah, I think
because you don't have a paddle attachment.
Didn't it say to do that?
No, it said mix it all together.
Oh.
Well, molasses, sugar.
Oh! Yeah, I think you were supposed to whisk.
No, I put in molasses and not eggs.
I think it'll be okay.
We'll make it work. And I even read the recipe before we started all the way through.
Okay.
Becky, you need to invest in a paddle attachment.
I know. I didn't think about that till last night and I wasn't gonna get one here in time.
Okay, let's just try.
I would just let it go.
Okay. Yeah. All right, let me get the eggs in. Oh yeah, it's going now.
Yeah, I would let that whisk.
All right.
So I'm gonna get my baking soda in here, and I can't find my little sieve, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put my baking soda in my hands, kind of crush it so that any lumps get out of there. And I'm gonna do that same thing to this one. And what we decided is because we're not gonna I don't think anyone's gonna be eating this gingerbread, even though it's delicious, because I turned this recipe into gingerbread men last year, is we are gonna substitute getting out all the different spices, like the 6 different spices we need. And we are going to use just pumpkin pie spice because we want it to smell spiced and delicious, but I don't feel like getting out all those spices. So I just added up all the spices and I'm gonna use that equivalent of pumpkin pie spice, but I still am gonna go ahead and add the amount of ginger it calls for because they are gingerbread houses.
And we want the aroma, even though we're going to be eating it with our nose, or appreciating it with our nose and eating other things.
Yeah.
All right, this has to go for 2 minutes. Okay. So we have decided that because I read the recipe wrong and put in the molasses instead of the eggs, we're concerned that the chemical reaction that happens and the air that goes into it when you add your butter, your sugar, and your eggs is not happening. So we are going to scrap the first batch before I add in the eggs, and we will repeat this with butter, sugar, and the eggs this time. Cream that till fluffy for at least 2 minutes on the mixer, and then we'll add in the vanilla, the molasses, and beat that again for like another 90 to 120 seconds. So we're gonna start over.
While she's doing that, I'm gonna double check my recipe to see it's only those 4 ingredients: flour, baking soda, salt, ginger, and pumpkin pie spice. So 5 ingredients. I'm gonna whisk this together with my whisk. And I do buy my baked goods in bulk from Azure Standard. I can link them down below. They are an online company that is actually local to me that specializes in organic goods. And so if that's something that you want to start purchasing for your family in bulk for a great price, they are a great resource. I can link them down below, and they are sponsoring today's video. So thank you, Azure, for sponsoring today's video. If you've seen my pantry, you know that I do like to buy ingredients in bulk so I can get a better price.
All right, round 2, we are gonna start again with our butter. We've got everything cleaned. We are at 4 sticks of butter. Oh, thank you, Becky. Yep. All right, I'll do the brown sugar, 2 cups of brown sugar.
I have done this before where I forget to beat the butter and sugar together, and it does make a difference because it's cutting in the air into the butter and helps it get light and fluffy. So we figured we would cut our losses before we added the flour. We would just sacrifice the butter, the molasses, and the sugar, and we didn't even want to add the eggs. Okay, so that's 4 cups right there.
Okay. Let me get the last ½ cup of brown sugar.
And you know what I could do right now, since I've got 2 things of flour there?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna start opening more butter. So I can unwrap those while you're doing that. You want me to turn this on? Okay, I'm just gonna start opening lots of butter.
2 eggs. Okay, now it mix. The texture is already looking so much better. So I'm glad we did that.
I'm gonna put these in stacks so that we've got like one recipe here, one recipe here.
This is looking good to me. What do you think? Do you want me to run it a little bit longer before I add the... Yes, I think your sugars are... Your brown sugar crystals are really big. We have now incorporated all of our sugar into our butter and eggs. It's a great nice fluffiness, and the color Becky said looks good. So we're gonna add 2 cups of molasses and give everything a good scrape down before whipping this.
I do have a specific, it comes with a spatula.
Oh,
but
okay.
I'm not sure. I know I have it, I just don't know where it is at the moment. So you can get around the curve better.
That makes sense.
I almost gave it to Goodwill, and then someone was like, no, no, no. Don't give it to Goodwill. So I know I have it somewhere.
It's okay. We'll make it work.
Sarah's gonna add the dry ingredients to this. While she's doing that, I'm just gonna go ahead and measure out more molasses. And now we do have more molasses coming because
we didn't realize how much goes in each batch. And these are deceivingly not 2 cups worth of molasses. They're only 12 ounces, and we need 16 ounces per double batch.
Yeah, so.
Does it usually make that sound?
Nope. Let's see.
Is it too heavy of a dough? Well, it does bread dough. I mean, it's a stiff. No, that's not even that stiff.
No. Maybe that doesn't sound good. Maybe we'll have to do.
I'll knead it. I'll knead this in.
Yeah. Okay, you can't quite do. Oh gosh.
Well, we got to get this off first. Oh yeah, something's.
So we can't quite,
too much.
Yeah, we can't quite do as much as this is a workhorse. Sarah's gonna get a workout here. We really only can do a single batch in here.
Let me incorporate the flour into this much, and then we'll. Oh, you know what?
You take your rings off.
Take the rings off. You know it's gonna be a good day of baking when you take off all the jewelry. Oh, one more.
Yeah, count them. Make sure they're all in there.
They should all be in there.
Okay. Set those right there.
Perfect.
So I think we should it'll probably be faster if we just do single batches than actually having to knead in this dough. Hey, we're figuring it out.
Except our flour is gonna be.
I know, we'll have to do this one more time.
Oh, I am making a mess. Oh well.
It's because this one single batch of this dough is so big.
I think it's because it is the whisk mix, and so it's not being able to get all the way around the clumps of dough and move it fast enough.
And we don't want to break the...
Yeah. I think if you had paddles, it would be fine.
Yeah. I'll order those today.
Okay.
They'll end up under the Christmas tree.
Merry Christmas to me.
I've never made cookie. I think this is the first time I've ever done a cookie dough.
And this is a very stiff dough, so you have to think too, normally it would not be adding in this much more flour, because we probably still had a cup and a half of flour to mix in.
Yeah.
All right, we're adding the eggs to our second batch. That's massive. And then we'll get this creamed. And I think, Becky, are you gonna start rolling out that dough?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm trying not to get this too wide because eventually we're going to use this rolling pin to roll this out. I guess I could just use this rolling pin to roll it out. This has gauges on the side so you can have even thickness, which works perfect for a project like this.
I need to get myself some of those.
It's so nice.
Yep.
You just then know you are on the right thickness. Probably could roll it to the right thickness right now and it would chill even quicker. We might even pop this dough in the freezer if we need to make this chill a little bit quicker.
Now, are we gonna do both ovens today?
Oh, we have 3 ovens.
Three.
Yeah,
yep. But we are limited by the number of cookie sheets and
true.
all that other stuff.
Oh, we got a big seam here. I'll fix this. There was a big seam here, so I just pushed that back together where this was pinched. So you do want to flip these over a couple times to make sure that you can correct those pinches. And I do want to correct them before I chill them because then it will be hard to correct it. That's probably as big as I can get it actually on my cookie sheet to go into the fridge.
Well, we have to cut them, so we're gonna transfer, to put it in there.
Yeah.
Got it. If you want to mix flour up for the next batch, you can cream the
Butter together.
Yeah.
If making gingerbread our gingerbread houses became a tradition, we would get a good system down. We're just working through this system at this point.
Yeah, next year it'll be
it'll
be all worked out. We'll know exactly what to do.
Let's see. We'll have the right equipment.
Paddles.
Which is half the battle, isn't it?
I have now hand kneaded all the rest of the flour into our second double batch, and we're gonna get this ready to get rolled out.
My sister is rolling out the last batch of gingerbread. So that was 6 batches, right?
6 single batches.
Yes. So we should get at least 12, hopefully, houses out of that. We have the majority of the dough in the fridge, but we have a couple batches of dough in the freezer because we want to expedite the chilling process. So while that's chilling, I'm gonna kind of reset the kitchen because it kind of exploded. So Sarah's sticking that batch she just made in the freezer. So by the time we make this next cookie dough, we should be able to start cutting out and baking, hopefully, the gingerbread. That took us, Sarah, what time did we start? Like 8:30?
8:20.
8:20. Okay, so that took us 1 hour and 20 minutes to make 6 batches worth of dough, plus the first batch, the first half batch we had to start over, and it was a little bit of a learning curve to figure out how much to put in the mixer. We did think after that, since we decided to do single batches, I could have had the KitchenAid out, Sarah could have had the Bosch out, we could have each done one, but it worked out just fine. I feel like that didn't take us very long, 1 hour and 20 minutes to do that. Plus, the kitchen is basically clean again.
Yep, we will get it reset and be ready to go. Move on to chewy double ginger molasses cookies.
With fresh ginger, which I've never thought about putting fresh ginger in a cookie before, so that should be good. So I can go ahead and I'll get the ginger grated up for us.
Yep, I'm gonna start, let's see.
And we're doubling this recipe because it only makes, they're like larger cookies. I think it makes
15.
Yeah. And
30 should be perfect.
We will send cookies home to my parents because my parents are gonna come over and we can send them over. We can send them home with my sister as well.
Now, you want me to use this butter? Is that the?
Yeah, that's the good butter.
Okay. So I have to do the math because it's 18 tablespoons. And these are 8, 16. So it's 2 sticks plus 2 extra tablespoons.
So I'm gonna peel this ginger. An easy way to peel fresh ginger is to take a spoon and just run it along the skin. And I think I need 2 tablespoons of fresh ginger. Oh my gosh, the ginger already smells delicious.
Right here, yeah, 2 tablespoons.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna cream our butter.
So when I went shopping for Mom for her Christmas present at William and Sonoma, I saw the viral green and wooden KitchenAid.
Oh yes, I have seen pictures.
And it is a wooden bowl. I didn't know if it was actual wood or if it was like a
I wonder how that would go.
It's a beautiful KitchenAid. And I asked the lady when I was checking out, are a lot of people buying those KitchenAid mixers for Christmas? And she said they're
a lot of husbands
yeah,
for their wives.
Yeah, that's true. I should have bought myself a new microplane. This has been broken for years, and I just deal with it.
Now, if you've watched any of the other videos I've been in, you know I'm notorious for not putting all the sugar that's required in things. So my husband will be very happy that these have the required amount of sugar in them.
And not only the right amount, but the right kind of sugar.
Yes. All right, let's get these creamy. That's going. All right, that's gonna go for 2 to 3 minutes. Is it weird if I crack the eggs into that?
Into this?
Yeah.
No. Okay. But let me just get the right amount first. I do need one more.
That 2/3?
Yep.
We're gonna add our vanilla and our eggs and molasses. Becky, I need 5 cups of sugar if you want to do that.
Sugar? Oh, flour?
I'm sorry, flour.
Yeah, happy to.
This, you're actually not supposed to over mix the flour in it.
Oh, I wanted to weigh out the flour for this.
355 twice.
Okay. So I might be weird, but I think cookies are one of the hardest things to bake, harder than cakes and pies. And what I have learned is that weighing the flour makes a huge difference. Because 1 cup of flour, if you use your measuring cup, depending on how compacted your flour is, and whether you scoop it or dump the flour into your cup measure, can be a difference of 50 grams, which is quite a bit. And so I do like to now weigh out my flour. I am a convert to that, but you don't have to if you don't want to. It would be 5 cups or 350 grams times 2.
355.
Okay, 355 times 2.
710.
Okay. So now the next ingredient is crystallized ginger after my sister mixes in the flour, but we decided that we are gonna substitute chocolate chips because I personally love a ginger molasses cookie with chocolate. And so that's what we're gonna do, and that's what my dad wants and my sister wants.
Do you have mini chocolate chips or just the big ones?
Yeah, I do. Would you like mini?
I like mini. Do you like mini?
Yeah, I can. How much do I need? Because I'll go down. It's a
well,
bit.
Crystallized ginger is only, it's a half a cup, finely chopped.
So you want a cup of mini chocolate chips? Or do you want a cup and a half?
I think so. What do you think?
Well, I'll bring up a cup and a half, and then, because they're in my freezer downstairs, and then
okay. Perfect. All right, I'm gonna give this one more quick mix, and then it said to not overmix adding your flour.
This bucket was about right here, and it's right here, so we used 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 35 cups of flour today, which is a lot. And like, I don't know, 8 pounds of butter or something like that. All right, I'm gonna go get chocolate chips. I grabbed 2 cups just because I got carried away. So I'll start with, this is 1/3 of a cup. So that's 1 cup right there.
Okay.
Just add
it, yeah, I will.
Okay, so I'm gonna get all these dishes in the dishwasher, and I'm actually gonna start my dishwasher because we are now done. Well, I won't start it till we roll out those cookies.
Oh, I need a spatula back. Thank you. Can't waste any of the dough that's all caught up on the pat.
I was gonna taste that cookie dough.
Oh yes, let's do that.
Chocolate in there. Oh, wow.
Did you add, remember I said add the other spices? You didn't add the cinnamon, did you?
No.
And the
baking I added was ginger.
Baking powder, baking soda?
No. We better add that.
We have too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Our dough might be maybe a little overmixed, but yes, we need 3 teaspoons of cinnamon.
Oh gosh.
2 of baking powder and 1 of baking soda.
Crisis averted though, because it's better to know that now than...
They would have not been bad without the cinnamon.
No,
but our baking soda and baking powder would have caused a challenge. So,
I did add the salt.
Okay, you added the salt.
So here's the baking soda.
2. Oh, I love the small cinnamon and ginger.
Okay, so it's 2. That's 1 teaspoon of baking soda.
So 1 of these?
Yeah, and I would put it in your hand and make sure there's no lumps. And then...
The recipe gives the weight measurement. Oh no, it doesn't give the weight measurements for that too.
I don't usually do the weights for baking powder, baking soda.
I don't. I should say, I never have. Okay.
Did it need ginger too? No, because we use fresh.
I forgot I was taking the bowl off when I realized that. Okay.
Now that we have the cookie dough saved by adding the baking powder and baking soda, we're going to go ahead and roll out these cookies. Now, the recipe says that each dough ball should be about 50 grams, and you don't need to weigh it out if you don't want to. We are just doing it because we had the time and we figured it wouldn't hurt because we already had the scale out. You can use a cookie scoop, you can just eyeball, but it was really interesting weighing it out. I don't always do this. I've done this maybe one other time when it comes to making cookies, and just how hard it is to try to actually get even cookies, because my sister's like eyeballing what 50 grams look like and she's like, wow, this is harder than it looks. So each of these cookie dough balls is about 50 grams. Some of them I think were like 46 and some might have been like 53. So we were trying to be within 5 grams of 50 grams and we were calling that good. She's weighing them out. I am rolling them and rolling them in sugar and then putting them on the cookie sheet, flattening them out a little bit, and then I'm going to flash freeze these. So I'll just throw these in the oven. Once they're hard, I'll throw them in a freezer Ziploc bag and then I'll bake them from frozen. Typically, when I bake frozen cookie dough, I will drop the temperature about 20 degrees or 25 degrees and bake them like a minute or 2 longer, just because they're really, really cold going into the oven. And these cookies, let me tell you, were absolutely delicious. You will see what these look like baked up. We end up eating these for dessert after we decorate the gingerbread houses my mom brings over dinner, and then we were able to enjoy these for dessert.
Into the oven, into the freezer they go.
Okay, we're gonna do some math. Hopefully my counting side comes out here. We decided that we have to have 7 gingerbread houses for the grandkids. And then we want a couple extra pieces and maybe an extra house or 2. Maybe the adults don't actually need to decorate them. So we're gonna go for 10 houses. And we have 3 structure pieces and 2 chimney pieces. So this is a side and it says cut 2 for 1 house. So we need to have
40.
No, 20. No, 40, you're right, see? Yep, okay. So let's go like this. I'm an accountant, but I use a calculator. Okay, so let's make some notes here. So we have the side and we need 40. We have the side and we need 40. And then we have the roof and we need 40. And we have,
40 of everything.
But we need to make sure we have them. So this is, okay, so this is this side. And then side with angle, we need 40.
I see. Yep.
Chimney square, we need 40, and then chimney, I will just call it an angle again, we need 40. So let's do some slash marks as we do this.
So we're gonna go side, roof, angled side.
Yep.
Okay.
So these are the 2 side with angle, then the roof piece, our square chimney piece, and our angle chimney piece. So we're gonna set aside what we're not doing so we don't confuse ourselves.
Yes.
We're gonna cut out 40 sides.
And we have a stack here of cookie sheets with our gingerbread dough, which was supposed to chill in the refrigerator for 4 hours, but we rolled it out thin and it's been in the freezer for about 45 minutes. So I think that should be fine. And the dough that was in the fridge, we're transferring to the freezer now so that that can chill a little bit.
Fridge dough in here.
Yeah, that needs to go in the freezer. Do you want to put that in the freezer?
I'll do that.
I will start rolling this out.
Perfect.
And so Once you put them in the freezer, I should have some rolled out, and then you can start cutting, and then I can start rolling. Yeah, so this dough is not frozen, but it's firm. And what I'm gonna do, release the parchment paper. I'm gonna leave all of these stacked together so they stay nice and cold. I wanna release the parchment paper before I start rolling so it doesn't stick. I'm gonna roll this out to a 1/4 inch thick. I'm very glad that we decided to roll it thin first. We probably could have just rolled it to the thickness we needed, but we didn't.
And then we'll need to get a cookie sheet ready to go to do the baking on. Do you want to bake on this parchment, or do you want?
So.
Okay.
You could.
Yeah, I'm gonna set up cutting over here.
Is that touching? No. Okay, so this is it right here. So Sarah is gonna start cutting out. And the recipe did say, make sure you unstick the parchment paper.
Oh yes, before
you, and I'm gonna do one more roll just so that it's nice and smooth. Okay,
all right, we'll trade?
Yep.
I'm gonna cut, put on the cookie sheet, and put them in the fridge.
Oh, that's a good idea. And you now have 2 that you can work with. This one we cut in half because it was a whole recipe worth. And definitely do this with a friend if you're gonna make 10 gingerbread houses.
And don't do this on the day that you're going to be decorating them.
Yeah, that was our original plan, but I'm really glad we pivoted. This one is already at
Saran wrap. I'm going to need to
saran wrap that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Or maybe the paper will. It's sticking already. Maybe the paper.
So what I would do is, if you cut it out, just take this like this, and we'll it on. We won't pick them up.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna wanna pick those pieces up.
I think you're right.
We could even do it on the cookie sheet.
Yes, I could. Reminds me of the cooking shows and the competitions where they have 2 hours to.
I know.
I'm always like, could I do that? I couldn't. Okay.
And then I think if you spray this, so we now have our cardboard template in plastic. And Sarah's gonna put a little bit of spray on it.
Because it's sticking to the dough. Woo! We're gonna have to do a lot of rolling here.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, well, let's cut right there. I can't get 2 more. I don't know, spraying it's leaving a lot of residue.
Yeah, maybe.
I think the saran wrap will be fine.
So what I'm gonna do with the dough that my sister takes off that's warm, I'm just going to roll it out to the proper thickness because it'll be easy to work with, and pop that in the freezer or fridge.
All right, when it goes on the cookie sheet is when we're gonna count it. So 2, 4, 6. So we have 6. And then I will mark that on my piece of paper over here.
We'll do slash marks maybe?
Yep, that's what I was gonna do.
Okay. So you now have 3 pieces.
So I'm gonna wipe off the grease. Do you want to put that in the oven, or do you want me to put it in the fridge?
I don't know, what do you think?
I think we should start baking.
Okay. So the only thing is, I'm a little worried they're a little close together.
Do you want me not to do them that close together?
Yeah, if I have to re-roll dough anyway.
Okay, all right. Can you fit any more on there?
I don't think I'm gonna move this one and then that's it.
Okay.
into the oven this goes.
Did you set a timer?
No. How long? 15 minutes.
Making gingerbread houses, there is definitely a learning curve. And let me tell you, one way to kind of figure out how to make gingerbread houses is to make 11 of them at a time. I've only ever made gingerbread houses one other time, and I only made one house. And so we did not have a system down going into this day on how to efficiently make 11 gingerbread houses. But we kept saying if we did this again, we would be able to be way more efficient. But what we learned is that it's super important to work with cold dough. And the thing about this dough is it warms up really, really quickly. So a couple tricks that we kind of took away by the time we were done is when the dough is warm, so even right when you make it, roll it to the exact thickness you want it before you put it in the freezer or refrigerator, so that you're not trying to roll out cold dough to the proper thickness when it's very, very cold. Here I'm just showing you the different molasses we used were different colors, so you'll see different color pieces. That's just because some of the different molasses we used, some were darker, some weren't. The other thing we learned is that it is really important to not manipulate the pieces once they are cut out. So cut them out on a piece of parchment paper, leaving a good amount of space between each piece because they do puff up a little bit in the oven. And so cut your pieces out on parchment paper and then remove the excess. And if you can chill it before you bake them, that's good because they'll puff up a little bit less. And then you can transfer them from the parchment paper onto the cookie sheet and either into the refrigerator or into the oven, but giving a little bit of space around each is good so they don't puff up and touch each other. Another thing we learned is that you definitely want to do this with a friend because this part was pretty tedious and we were able to just hang out and chat and enjoy each other's company. And I can tell you that I probably would not have wanted to make 11 gingerbread houses by myself. So I'm really glad that my sister was there with me.
Between the 3 ovens, we have 17 cookies cooking. I'm gonna roll out all the dough that was the scraps. Sarah's grabbing some cold cookie dough to roll out so that we can start working with some colder dough, because at this point, this dough that was the scraps is room temperature.
Yeah, it's too warm.
This is the timer for the first batch. I don't think they're done. I would say another 3 minutes, Sarah, so let's go 18 minutes.
Okay. All right, friends. Someone will have already been like, you guys can't do math.
Math on camera.
not on camera, yes. Can't do math on camera. So, as we were looking at this, realizing we had cut out 22 of our sides, we would never have had enough dough to do 40 of every piece. So we quickly realized that was if we wanted to do 20 houses. We only want to do 10 houses. So we are putting 2 of our pieces back in here. All but...
Cut out chimneys. Since that dough is cold.
Yep, I'll cut out chimneys. So all but 3 of our sides are in the oven. They'll come out of the oven in the next couple of minutes. We have 2 big pieces that are almost completely the right thickness to cut out. And they're cold. So we are gonna move on to, we need now 20 of our roof pieces. We will cover this in saran wrap and begin cutting out. We'll turn the camera in just a second and show you our 2 big pieces that Becky's gonna work on right next to me. And I'm gonna cut some chimneys out of our cold dough that is ready to go. Oh, that's the timer, Becky, on the top.
Okay. Sarah, you'll have to look at these and tell me what you think. Do you think they are?
I don't know what I'm doing.
Because it's okay if they're overbaked, like dry.
Those look done. Look how brown it is on the sides.
Okay.
I think they're done.
So we're gonna cook these for 18 minutes. I'm gonna get these off. I'll let them cool on this cookie sheet for a couple minutes and then I'll transfer them to a cooling rack. So after recalculating everything, we are making a lot more progress than we would have otherwise. So we are done with the one side. Those are out of the oven because we only need 20. Roofs, I need 3 more and I'm just about to put those in the oven because now I have cookie. Here, ooh, there. You could, we're running out of cookie sheets, so I had a pizza box in the fridge, and I think we can probably just transfer that right on it there. Oh, we don't want them,
I gotta take one off.
Yeah. Let me get you a piece of parchment. That can go on here. Those can go in the oven. We are baking everything for about 20 minutes because we want to make sure they're nice and dry. Sarah got the 2 different roof pieces or chimney pieces done, so we can get that done or cross that off the list. So chimneys are done, both of them. Sarah just wrapped our last shape, which is a side piece with the triangle, and we need to get 20 of those and 3 more roofs. We've been playing musical cookie sheets, musical ovens, and getting the dough re-rolled out and put back in the fridge, put back in the freezer. And some things we're trying to chill before we bake, like the chimney pieces were super, super soft.
They were easy to cut out and transfer because there were so little, but they definitely need to chill
before we bake them.
And having a friend to help you do all of this and kind of chat along with and double check your numbers is fun. And that piece of parchment paper is done.
Done.
Yep. I just washed our knives that we're cutting with again because it gets a little sticky when the dough is warm and it sticks to the side of the knife. So it is easier to use
when clean.
So if you're kind of having some challenges with your knife, give it a quick rinse and it's good to go.
Same with the rolling pin. I have washed the rolling pin once to try to get some of the stickiness off of it.
And it's also easy to pull your extra pieces off when the dough is cold. The warmer it gets, the harder it is to work with.
These are cold, so I'm gonna get these right in the oven.
Okay.
We are letting everything cool on the cookie sheet too to finish baking. We're looking for these to be nice and fully baked, so overbaked is better than underbaked. Okay, so I have 2, so the roofs are done now, so I have 2 side pieces here.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so we're at 7.
Yes. We only have to cut out, wait, where?
One more of these.
And then all of the house pieces are done. But we still have quite a bit of dough. So what we're gonna do is do gingerbread men. So we did not do enough for my parents and all the adults to do them, but that's okay. The most important thing is for the kiddos.
No, we have 3 extra, right? 2, 4, 6, 7. Yeah, we have 3 extra.
Okay, awesome. So 3 adults.
Because we made 10.
Okay.
And in case a piece breaks when we're assembling them, we should have 2 extra at least.
For the adults to do. But we're also gonna do some gingerbread men so that if kids or adults wanna decorate gingerbread men, they can too. So what size do you think? I did this size, kind of the medium size.
I feel like if it's gonna go with your house, you would want the little one, but there's not a lot of space to decorate. So
I think we do the middle one, because I think kids are gonna more likely want to decorate these.
And the timer's going off.
Timer's going off. These are gonna be marbled men because there is, or ladies, there is the 2 different color doughs on here, which is fine. We'll get quite a few gingerbread men. So if people want to eat the gingerbread men, they certainly can.
So here are all of our chimney pieces. I keep double checking them.
Yep, we got 20.
So we're gonna pop them in this oven, and how long do you think? Start with 6 minutes?
Well, they're the same thickness, so I would probably 10.
10?
Yeah.
Okay. So
we are cooking these 20
can you open the
minutes.
door?
Yeah, we are cooking these 20 minutes, and the recipe calls for 15, but ours might be a little thicker.
So Becky just noticed that she's got 2 where there's some overlapping in their appendages. So one arm and one leg. But what we're gonna do is just chop it off and put it in a toothpick because my kids have read this pirate gingerbread man storybook with my parents the last couple years, and then we got a ninja cookie cutter. So it's kind of like some fun poses, and then they take off arms and legs and they make swords and they do all of this. So my kids will get a kick out that there's some pirate gingerbread men, because this year we did not get around to doing that. But there's a fun picture book that goes along with it. So
that's cute.
Let's get some toothpicks. The last of our building pieces are going in the oven, and now we just have the fun gingerbread men.
Awesome. That feels really good.
All right, let's check on our chimney pieces. What do we think? This is 10 minutes.
I would do another 5.
Another 5? Okay.
Hello friend, welcome back. So it has been a couple days since last time we were in the kitchen together. Once my sister left, I just spent time running cookie pieces through the oven, and I got them all done, and I actually got enough to make 11 gingerbread houses. So now it is the morning of decorating these houses. My sister is here early so we can get the houses assembled, they can dry, so that the kids can decorate them this afternoon. So we're just gonna get going with making the royal icing. All I did was wrap all of these pieces with 3 layers of saran wrap to keep them nice and fresh.
I love how you cut it. I would have started to try to unwind it, but she just cut around it, and this basically like opened up the package.
And Sarah's gonna start separating eggs, and we will keep the egg yolks, and I might make some eggnog later today.
Do you want to get something for me to put the shells in, or do you want to just drop them on the counter?
No, because I'll give the shells to my chickens.
Okay. Perfect.
And then I ordered these round, I thought I ordered 9x9s, but these are 8x8s. And luckily, these houses,
I feel like it also doesn't give the kids too much room around to decorate, and we'll just set the houses so that the front of the house or the back of the house is against the edge as much as possible. Then they'll have a little bit in the front to decorate.
And these rounds have a nice shiny kind of finish to them. They're not cardboard. The ones my mom gave me are just completely cardboard, so we were gonna cover these. Because these have like a shiny finish to them, we don't actually need to cover those, which is gonna save us a step.
1.
Go ahead.
2.
Cream of tartar just went in. That's supposed to help stabilize.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna use the whisk attachment, because in this case we do want the whisk attachment and not the paddle attachment. All right, so it says you can combine everything at once and start whisking on high with till stiff peaks form. Now, we're not gonna turn this on high immediately, or we're gonna have a cascade of, we're just gonna be safe. Here we go.
Here we go. Yep.
The timer just went off, so we're gonna check for stiff peaks. This looks like stiff peaks to me. I always think it's fun when they go like this. I think we're good.
So I have a Ziploc bag there for you. So this is gonna be our fancy Ziploc, or not Ziploc, our fancy piping bag, which is just a Ziploc. It is a freezer Ziploc, so it has a little bit more structure to it. And we're gonna, the first house, work on it together. So one person can be holding like the sides and stuff. And you can see how this is a nice, stiff royal icing. Maybe we'll do half and half, so we're not working with such a big.
Yeah, and we do wanna make sure we get it all in the bag. So if we were gonna make a second batch immediately, we could leave this, but we're gonna make sure we get it all in here. Actually, we can go this.
If you don't have a second set of hands, you can also put it in a wide mouth mason jar, and that works pretty good too. Okay. So for one house, we're gonna use 1 round. We need 2 pointed ends.
2 sides, 2 roofs, we can stack some here, 2 side chimneys, 2 other side chimneys. So let's think.
So let's put the back of the house
We probably want to do one side first.
Yeah, like that.
Yep.
This first house, my sister and I decided to build together because we were thinking that it would take one person to do the frosting and one person would have to hold the pieces, and we weren't sure where the frosting should go so that they get assembled properly. And then we quickly realized that this royal icing recipe is fantastic, and it holds its shape and it holds the pieces up really, really well. So you don't really need someone there holding the pieces. So what my sister and I were kind of working through was where we should be putting the frosting so that the houses are built consistently. So we're actually putting the frosting on the end pieces on the inside, like the front and the back of the house. We're putting the frosting on the inside so that the side pieces of the house are sitting on the inside, not the outside. I hope that makes sense. And so that was one thing we were working through. And then my sister adds a little bit more royal frosting in a couple spots where the gingerbread houses are bowed. Like, not the house itself, but the pieces are bowed to reinforce it. So after we get the first one done, you can see it in the back there, we decide to go ahead and build them ourselves, and we get a good system down to where we can go ahead and just build them all by ourselves. And this was quite honestly my favorite part. I was questioning my choices of making this many gingerbread houses when we were rolling out and baking and cutting out the pieces. That was a tremendous amount of work, and I can totally see why the graham cracker houses and Pop-Tart houses became so popular. And I remember one cool thing about the graham cracker houses is we got to assemble the houses ourselves before we decorated them. So I have lots of memories of building non-traditional shaped houses, but I just really wanted to try doing the traditional gingerbread houses, and I'm really glad we did. Will we do this every year? I don't know, but it was so fun. I really, really enjoyed this part. And so when we were doing this and talking, we were, like, maybe we would do this again because I was pretty convinced after the first day that I don't know if I would do that again. And after assembling the houses, I was like, I think I would do this again because I had a lot of fun doing this. And it would be fun to do kind of a more complicated house shape someday. This is the exact same house shape that I did last year, but it was a bigger house. So the template that is going to be linked down below, the lady whose recipe this is, actually I think she got it from like a magazine or something. She credits where she originally found it, but I will link hers because that's where I found it, was from her blog. And she has two different templates you can do. There's the 5-inch house, which is what we're doing here, which was perfect for this big gingerbread baking day. But when I did it, and I just did one house for myself to decorate, I did the 7-inch house, and that was a lot of fun. And so what we're doing is we are just assembling the base of the house. We decided, even though this royal icing recipe is fantastic and it doesn't take much to hold the actual house up, it holds itself up really, really well. We thought that it would be best to wait and let the base of the house cure a little bit or dry before trying to put the roof on, because we didn't want the roof collapsing the house or sliding off. So we gave the main body of the house, I think, a good hour and a half maybe to cure or dry before we ended up putting the roofs on. So we do end up getting a total of 11 houses. 2 of the houses are not going to be decorated on this day. One of my nieces and nephews, they were in school on this day because we were doing this on a Thursday during the day, and we did this before Christmas break was in session. And so my mom takes all of the excess candy and 2 of these houses over to my brother's house and drops them off so that my niece and nephew can have the fun of decorating one of these gingerbread houses. So here what I do is, my system that works really well is to take the front piece or the back piece, I guess it doesn't really matter, and put the frosting on the 2 edges and on the bottom, and then taking one of the side pieces and putting it on the bottom of the piece, and then I can stick that to the front of the house. And then I just have to do that exact same thing for the other side piece. And then for the back piece, I put the frosting on the bottom and the two sides, stick that together, and that's how quickly it is and easy it is to build the base of the house. And then some of the pieces, you know, were bowed, and you would just put a little extra frosting to reinforce those areas, and that was easy. So after we let the base of the house cure, it's time to go ahead and put the roof on. And we just put frosting on 3 sides, stick that on. You can see this frosting is so nice and it sticks really, really easily. And then my sister is going to put the frosting on all 4 sides and stick the other piece on, and it's just that easy. It took us probably 15 minutes to assemble the base of the house, and then it probably took another 15 minutes to put all the roofs on. We end up doing kind of assembly line. I end up putting on all the roofs, and then my sister ends up putting on all of the chimneys. So I actually didn't put any chimneys on any of these houses because my sister did that. So here you can kind of see our assembly line. I am now working on putting the roofs on, and my sister is working on the chimneys. And you can see that middle house. So the different molasses we used was different colors, and so some of the houses were a little bit marbled and some of the gingerbread men were a little bit marbled because different batches kind of got mixed into each other when we were remixing the dough. And if you wanted that to look absolutely perfect, we could have totally mixed all the dough together to have like one even color, but we didn't really mind that some of the houses and some of the gingerbread men were marbled. We kind of thought it actually looked a little bit cool. I probably wouldn't intentionally do that, but we didn't mind that it ended up happening. So this is kind of the final houses here. My sister is just getting the 4 little pieces for the chimney on, and I am getting the roofs on. And I, again, like I said, I really, really, really had a lot of fun assembling these houses.
So here's all the candy we have, and I'm gonna get these in bowls. I'm definitely gonna put a tablecloth down to protect the table, but I just grabbed a bunch of bowls, and I'm not gonna tear these bags because we might not go through all of this candy. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna tear the bags. I didn't think we got that much, not frosting, that much candy, but looking at it now, I think we got plenty. We are also gonna go ahead and make a batch and a half of royal icing because we wanna get the kitchen clean. So we're going to put royal icing in these bags for everyone so they can have their own little royal icing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's more than 10.
So our 1.5 batches of royal icing is done, and we are going to attempt to fill 8 10 sandwich sized baggies.
So maybe 3 scoops each. Josh is putting another tablecloth on the table so it covers the table.
And then when we close these up, we'll get out all of the air, and we're not going to cut them until we're ready to begin decorating.
Now we can clean the kitchen.
Yep.
And Sarah and I are still finding gingerbread
remnants everywhere.
Yeah. Do you think we should just make one more batch while we can and put it in a big bag?
I don't know. I don't want you to have a ton left over. No, I think this is fine. Because this is a batch and a half, and we did 1 batch.
That's true.
For all of that.
Worst comes to worst, we make more.
Yeah, it's not hard. It will only take a couple minutes.
So the table is set. I'm gonna give each person a thing of our frosting, which we have not opened yet. We'll cut these open once they come. So I think it's like, what time is it, Sarah?
It's just after, oh, it's almost 2 o'clock.
Oh, so
we've got about an hour, yeah. I think
so
we're great timing.
Yeah.
We have a couple extra of our gingerbread men, so we're gonna drop 2 around each plate.
Yeah.
And we are also going to, we have 2 more houses that adults can do. So this is for the kids.
Yes.
And so I'm sure Pop will pull up a chair and
yeah, I can get some folding chairs out
and decorate some as well. Lots of candy too.
Yeah, this is gonna be fun.
I do end up pulling out a card table because I want everyone to be able to sit together, and there wasn't enough seats here, and I didn't think I'd be able to put enough folding tables to make it comfortable. So I do end up pulling that out. But other than that, we are ready for this fun evening. So all my nieces and nephews are over that are going to be decorating at my house, and my mom brought over everything you would need for a taco bar. So this was her idea, to bring over dinner so that after we decorate the gingerbread houses, we can have a delicious dinner. And she brought almost everything completely done or in a slow cooker so that it would be warm and ready. The only thing we have to do is warm up the tortillas. So she brought the meat, the veggies, the sides, everything, and so we could just kind of hit the ground running and have a lot of fun. At this point, my house is loud. There are kids running around. I have Christmas music playing, and we are just going to let the fun festivities begin. So we have the oven preheated, and we are going to put these cookies in the oven that we were able to pre-bake. This recipe was delicious. They do flatten out a little bit more than I was expecting, but they got gobbled up and no one complained. I would have probably put whole size chocolate chips in next time, not the minis, but that wasn't even in the recipe. That's just my own thing that I would do, and I will make those again. Here's my mom and dad decorating their gingerbread houses. I knew that when we decided we were going to do a gingerbread baking day that I for sure wanted one for my dad because he's so creative. And here he is telling you very Merry Christmas and that he appreciates you all. There was just Christmas music going and lots of kids running around and having fun. So I am going to relay his message to you that he did want to wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. So here is his gingerbread house. I think my mom and dad did a fantastic job. I knew that they would both have a lot of fun decorating gingerbread houses with their grandkids, so I definitely wanted to make sure there was a house for them to be able to decorate. And here is what all the houses look like decorated together. The 2 that were not decorated go home with my mom with all the extra candy so that my 2 niece and nephew that weren't able to make it are going to be able to decorate a house. So my dad is warming up the tortillas. After the fun Christmas festivities, we sit down to a delicious dinner that I didn't have to make, so I really appreciate my mom for being willing to take care of the food because my sister and I took care of the gingerbread houses. So it's just worked out great, and we had an absolutely delicious dinner.
We want to thank you for being here, and if you want to watch more videos from me and my sister, I can pop some videos here you can go enjoy between now and my next upload. We want to thank you for being you, thank you for being here, and we can't wait to see you next time.
See you later.
Bye, friend.